Mary had a little lamb.
From the classiest radio station on the air, this is...
Welcome to the Black Rabbit's Curse, where every shadow hides a sinister verse. Hear the airs that can tales of terror twist in your head into the dark unknown, where fear takes root and chills the bone. Beware, dear traveler, for once you're here, the curse may linger year after year. YEMAYÁ'S Tide, a Black Rabbit's Curse original, inspired by the Orisha. The ocean doesn't forget. People think the ocean hides bodies. They're wrong. The ocean hides promises. Every oath whispered over salt water, every prayer offered beneath moonlight, every injustice that was never answered, the sea remembers them all. Along the Georgia coastline sits an abandoned plantation called Blackwater Point. The locals refuse to fish nearby, not because of sharks, because every year, on the night of the blue moon, the ocean gives something back. Not driftwood, not treasure, people. Some walk ashore soaked in seawater, eyes glowing pale blue, still wearing the same clothes they died in decades earlier. They never speak. They simply walk into the woods, following a woman whose feet never leave footprints in the sand. The elders whispered only one name, YEMAYÁ', the mother of the ocean, protector of her children, and the judge of those who believe the sea has forgotten. Marcus Holloway never believed any of it. He was a wealthy real estate developer, determined to bulldoze Blackwater Point into a luxury beachfront homes. Old legends didn't scare investors. Money erased a history, or so he thought. The first morning came before sunrise. Workers discovered hundreds of white seashells arranged perfectly around the construction site. A giant circle, no footprints, no tire tracks, just shells. Every laborer refused to cross it. One elderly black woman stepped from the nearby mesh. Her white dress fluttered, despite being no wind. Around her neck strung up blue and white beads. She looked directly at Marcus. "You have until sunset." Marcus laughed. "Or what?" The woman smiled sadly. "You aren't disturbing man." She looked towards the ocean. "You're disturbing a mother's graveyard." Before anyone could answer, a massive wave crashed into the beach. The ocean had been perfectly calm seconds earlier. When the water pulled back, it left dozens of fresh footprints, bare feet, walking towards the construction site. But no one had came ashore. That night, security cameras captured impossible footage. At exactly 3:03 a.m., figures emerged silently from the Atlantic. Men, women, elders, everyone dripping seawater, everyone carrying chains wrapped around their wrists. None had eyes, only endless darkness. They surrounded the bulldozers, placed their hands gently across the machines. Then every engine started by itself. The machines drove straight into the ocean. By sunrise, only bubbles remained in. The police determined the footage a hoax. Marcus refused to stop construction. So, the ocean sent another warning. Construction workers began hearing singing, soft, beautiful, coming from beneath the sand. When they dug, they didn't find bones. They found rusted shackles, thousands of them, each one still warm. That evening, the old woman returned. They were grounded. Marcus frowned. What are you talking about? They belonged to the mother. They prayed, they cried. They were spiritually crowned beneath impossible suffering. Death didn't take them. She did. Marcus scoffed. You mean this goddess? The woman's smile disappeared. No, my mother. A hurricane arrived without appearing on the weather radar. The sky became green. The tide vanished. Miles of ocean disappeared. Fish flopped helplessly across the exposed seabed. Something enormous moved beneath the retreating water. Then the sea returned, not as a wave, as a wall, hundreds of feet high. Inside the water, faces, thousands of them, watching, praying, weeping. At its center stood a woman cloaked in flowing blue robes, woven from living water. Her crown shimmered with pearls, coral, moonlight, and sea foam. Where her eyes should have been, entire galaxies beneath the surface of endless waters. She never screamed, she simply looked. Every person who had profited from Blackwater Point collapsed to their knees, their ears filled with ocean water, their lungs began filling, even though they were on dry land. They crawled desperately at their throats. The mother has arrived. Marcus fled into the plantation mansion. Inside, every portrait had changed. The wealthy owners were gone. Instead, the walls showed people history had erased. Men and women in chains, mothers holding infants, elders praying, children staring directly from the paintings. Their eyes followed him. The old woman appeared one final time. You don't understand. Still, Marcus whispered. What do you want? I want nothing. My mother already decided. The floors split apart. The ocean water flooded upward, not downward. The house dissolved beneath endless sea. Marcus found himself standing beneath the Atlantic, yet he could breathe. Around him floated thousands of souls, not trapped, protected, waiting. The chains around them slowly dissolved into glowing blue light, then looked afraid. None of them, because they weren't prisoners. They had always been beneath their mother's protection. Then every spirit turned, not to Yemaya, towards Marcus. Marcus screamed, I didn't do any of this! The ocean became silent. Then one spirit spoke. You inherited everything. Another whispered, you spent it. Another, you buried us. Again. Then the mother finally spoke. Her voice sounded like every wave that had been ever touched on earth. I protect the living. I protect the dead. My children are never abandoned. Marcus expected death. Instead, the water entered his mouth, his ears, his eyes, his soul. Memories flooded into him. Every chain, every cry, every named erased, every prayer whispered into the sea. He experienced centuries of suffering in seconds. When the water receded, Marcus stood alone on the beach. The hurricane was gone. Construction equipment had vanished. The plantation no longer existed. Police later found Marcus wandering the shoreline, alive, mute. His hair had turned completely white overnight. Doctors claimed trauma, but they couldn't explain why seawater constantly dripped from his eyes. Even months later, years passed, the abandoned shoreline became a protected sanctuary. No one built there again. Every year, people spiritually crowned to Yemaya traveled to the beach to pray for justice, healing, and protection. Some came seeking peace. Some came carrying unbearable grief. Some came because they had been wronged so deeply that no court on earth could help them. On nights when the moon reflected silver across the water, they claimed they could hear a mother's voice answering them back. Then, on stormy evenings, a luxury yacht carrying human traffickers disappeared without sending a distress call. No wreckage had ever been found. The next morning, thousands of seashells covered the shoreline, perfectly arranged in a circle. Into the circle, police discovered every missing victim alive, cold, shaken, but unharmed. Each survivor told the same impossible story. A woman rained blue walked across the ocean. She called us her children. Then the sea swallowed the monsters. The traffickers were never found. Fishermen still refuse to sell those waters after dark because sometimes, just beneath the waves, they see countless glowing eyes watching from the deep, not waiting for innocent people, waiting for anyone who dares harm one of the mother's children. Sit here, heart still racing, eyes wide open. Remember, the terror doesn't end when the video does. You may try to forget, but the shadows have a way of following. The whispers grow louder each night, don't they? So go ahead, close your eyes, if you dare. But know this, you're not alone. Not anymore. But the Black Rabbit's curse has seen you. and it's waiting. So what happens when the lights go out? If you want to find out, make sure you come back. But next time, will you be ready? Sleep well. Or don't.